Welcome back to This is Baseball. My name is Brandon Johnson. Thank you for tuning in today. Happy almost 4th of July. I hope that you have something fun planned for tomorrow, something safe, hopefully. Let's get into the show. So, we're going to talk a little Royals today, and I want to talk Jac Caglianone because there's been a lot of rumblings around town of Jac Caglianone's not performing like we thought he would. He's up here, he's struggling. Should he be demoted? It was just a lot of talk, and I think that a lot of it is nonsense. So today, I am here to defend Jac Caglianone. So, at time of recording this, Jac Caglianone has played 25 games in the majors for the Royals. So he hasn't even been up here a month. And he doesn't even have 100 plate appearances. He has 99 as I look at his stats right now on baseball reference. And yeah, what I'm looking at, it's not pretty. Batting 151, 202 on base percentage, only has those 2 home runs he hit in Texas, 4 RBIs, striking out quite a bit. And yeah, it's not good if you compare it to everything else he's done. He obviously, in his 50 games in the minors, was fantastic. Had a 292 batting average in the minors, 358 on base, with 17 home runs and 70 RBIs, plus another 18 doubles. So, very good there. You go back to his college days in Florida. Fantastic in Florida. Good enough to be a top 5 pick in the MLB draft. In high school, obviously, he was a great player in high school because he went to Florida. Listen, if you're in high school and you are an aspiring baseball player and you're going the college route to get to MLB, you have some ideal colleges that are on your list. You have LSU, Vanderbilt, Oregon State, Tennessee, and Florida, right? Those are some places that you'd love to go, and you have to be very, very good to be able to go there. Goes to Florida and does fantastic. In his final year at Florida, he hit .419 with a .544 on base, 35 home runs, 72 RBIs in 66 games. So, absolute monster. Here's where it's interesting for Jac Caglianone. As great as he was in high school, as great as he was in college, as great as he was in the minors, the people he played against in high school, many of them likely never played baseball in college. They never went on to the next level. A lot of the people that he played in college likely never went on to get drafted by an MLB team or get signed by an MLB team. College was probably the ceiling for a lot of the pitching that he went up against. In the minors, a lot of the pitching that he went up against in the minors likely never going to sniff the majors. So now he's in the majors and he's playing against the best of the best. The worst pitcher that Jac Caglianone is going to face in the majors has better stuff than anything he had ever seen before. So it's not crazy that he's not hitting .322 right now or .419 like he was at Florida. It's especially when you look at he's coming into a Royals team that is one of the worst teams offensively in the league right now. So it's not surprising that he didn't come in and hit .330 immediately, right? Nobody else is doing that on the Royals. So 25 games into his career, we need to calm down a little bit. That is too small of a sample size to start getting mad at Jac Caglianone. Listen, these 100 ABs, these 100 plate appearances that he's had, a lot of people, would it have benefited him to have those plate appearances in the minors? Maybe. I don't necessarily know if we would have learned anything new in 100 plate appearances, 100 more plate appearances in Omaha versus just coming up to Kansas City and getting them here. I think he was clearly ready. And yeah, he came up earlier than I thought. Was I mad when he came up? No. I thought he'd be up in mid to late July, but I'm happy he's here. I think he belongs on the team, and I think he's going to figure it out. And it's not crazy. There's still a lot of baseball left. We're just now in the second half of the season. We haven't even hit the All-Star break. He could come out of the All-Star break and go on a 17-game hitting streak with 10 extra base hits, 9 RBIs, and then we're like, oh, that's the Jac Caglianone that we were expecting. So give him time, give him space. I believe he'll figure it out. I think we'll look back and go, wow, he had a really good final 2.5 months in the league, and then he'll come to spring training next year and he'll break camp with the major league team and hopefully put 2025 behind them as the Royals. And I say all of this, Jac Caglianone, all of the experts say he's going to be great. So if Jac Caglianone is who they say he is going to be, then just relax. Think about George Brett, the greatest Royal ever, one of the best baseball players to play the game. He came up at the end of 1973, and it wasn't pretty in the 13 games that he played. He played 133 games in 1974. He was fine. He didn't really blow anybody out of the water statistically, but he ended up having, obviously, a great career, a Hall of Fame career, and was part of some very important Royals baseball teams. So give Jack time and let it all play out. I'm thinking of other sports where one of the greatest quarterbacks, one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks in Peyton Manning, had one of the worst rookie seasons that a quarterback can have. Peyton Manning in his rookie season in Indianapolis threw 28 interceptions. Then Peyton Manning went on to be one of the 5 best quarterbacks ever. He's 3rd all-time in career passing yards. He's 3rd all-time in career passing touchdowns. And went to 4 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. 4-time MVP, 7-time All-Pro, 14-time Pro Bowler, first ballot Hall of Famer. Listen, nobody, when they're voting for Peyton Manning to be in the Hall of Fame, I highly doubt any of them were looking at his rookie season and going, oh, I don't know. No, he ended up having a great career, and everybody forgot how awful his rookie season was. And here's some more just to back it up. Johnny Bench, who arguably one of the greatest catchers of all time, in his first 26 games with the Reds in 1967, he hit 163 with a 462 OPS. And then came back the next year through the first 19 games of that season, hit 171 with a 500 OPS, and then finally started to figure it out. Johnny Bench, part of the Big Red Machine, like I said, one of the greatest catchers of all time, Hall of Famer. Nobody thinks about how bad Johnny Bench was when he started. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October, who hit 563 home runs in his career. In 1967, hit 178 with a 574 OPS over 135 plate appearances, and struck out 40% of his at-bats that season, according to MLB.com. Reggie Jackson, first ballot Hall of Famer, received 93% of the votes from the writers in 1993. Brooks Robinson, another example, for Baltimore. Took him, I'm on Baseball Reference, it took him 5 years to really put it together in Baltimore. And then for basically the rest of his 23-year career in Baltimore, he's an 18-time All-Star, won 16 Gold Gloves, 2-time World Series champion, MVP, Roberto Clemente Award winner, and, Hall of Famer. I'll give you a current player in MLB that took a few years. Pitcher, Max Scherzer. Didn't get off to the greatest start in Arizona. Went to Detroit. Took him a couple years to get rolling there. But by 2013, he was one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, and he's continued to do that for the rest of his career. You don't think about the 2010s without thinking of Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer is one of the three best pitchers of his generation. Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, Clayton Kershaw. All three of them going to be first ballot Hall of Famers. Max Scherzer, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion. Give Jac Caglianone time to figure it out. He's only played 25 games. And listen, yeah, there's a chance that it doesn't pan out. But I choose not to think that way. But 25 games, not even 100 plate appearances in the majors for Jac Caglianone. Give him time. We don't need this instant gratification with him. We've got a long way to go. And I think at this point, the 2025 season is a great time for Jac to figure it out. And 20 years down the road, we could probably look back on this and laugh, hopefully. But that is all I have this week on This is Baseball. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. I'll see you next week.